Aesi, Tyrant of Gyre, Strait versus Ayula, Queen Among Bears. A one-lander is no good to us. We'll have to go down a card there, and that is looking a lot better. I think we keep that, and we have to get rid of the Farhaven Elf, just so that we've got something to do in the later game. Yeah, let's go Farhaven Elf there. Play the Forest to start off with, and we'll pass the turn, ready for Sakura Tribalkai on our next turn. And our opponent does the same. We get into a blue source, so we'll go Hinterland Harbour. The Sakura Tribalkai can get us a blue source, and hopefully we'll be able to get down the Royal Elemental. Actually, the Wood Elves will be able to get us a blue source as well. Ayula, Queen Among Bears comes down for our opponent, so we'll just crack the Sakura Tribalkai now. And then it's Kodama's Reach. We get to make a land next turn with that. I don't think it really makes much of a difference what we go for here. Let's just go Kodama's Reach. And we'll grab one of each, a Snow Forest and a Snow Island. Then we'll put the Forest into play tapped. We can leave an untapped island. I highly doubt they're going to play around a 1-mana counterspell, but you never know. Yavimaya Hollow coming down for our opponent. We get into a Forest again. So I think we can go for the Prophet of Kruphix. Then it's a Forest, and we'll play the Royal Elemental at the end of our opponent's turn. Or maybe we just go for our commander instead, cracking a Windswept Teeth. And a Skyshroud Claim. Still 6 cards in hand. We're lacking on bears at the moment. Deciding not to swing into us, so we'll assume they don't have a pump spell. They might have a fight card though, but I doubt they're going to be able to do anything about our 5/5 commander. So get that into play. Finale of Devastation might be good later on, but we'll go for the Royal Elemental first. And then we can get down the Wood Elves during our opponent's turn. Hopefully they don't scoop here. Play a land. That will draw us a card, and we will steal their commander away from them. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I assumed they were going to scoop there. I don't think it's going to show us what we were going to draw into. But basically, as long as they can't remove the Royal Elemental, or our commander will be kept in cards, and we'll be able to steal any creatures that they go for there. So yeah, that's them in pretty dire straits there, really. This time up against Atraxa, Praetors Voice, we've got Ramp again, which we shouldn't struggle getting into in this deck, but we do sometimes for some reason. Anyway, get down a Snow Forest and get into the Finale of Devastation again, so we go for Sakura Tribalkai here. And I'm just going to crack it now because I don't think we need to worry about a haster against Atraxa. A Marsh Flat's being cracked from our opponent. They'll spend the first few turns fixing their colours, I would have thought. Going for a green source, and that allows them to go into Eladamri's Call. Puts a creature straight into their hand. And they went for Stoneforge Mystic, so I assume they're going for some kind of Ultron plan with Atraxa. Kodama's Reach, I don't mind. I was thinking of Thought Vessel this turn, but we definitely want to be able to make 2 lands this turn as opposed to just 1. Going up 1 mana, that is, which we would do with Thought Vessel. We'll go up 2 mana here instead. Just do 1 of each. And again, we'll see if they want to play around a 1 mana counter spell. Again, doubt they will. Throwing out the Stoneforge Mystic straight away. They haven't played a land yet, so not sure if they've actually got one or not. And yeah, maybe they're struggling, so going for a Skull Clamp. They did have a land. Playing a Skull Clamp when they've got no means of equipping it. Okay, Miri's Guile has about a Thought Vessel for us. And then an argument to be made for Miri's Guile to filter our draws, but I think I just want to make use of the mana while we've got it open, because it's never a good time to actually cast a Fairy's Ageless Insight, but if you can get it to stick, then it's really, really good. Hopefully we can get into a land next turn, play our commander, play a land, draw a couple of cards. Sword of Fire and Ice now as well. Yeah, they could have... I mean, I don't suppose it matters, but they could have cheated that in with the Stoneforge Mystic and then put the Skull Clamp on here. But it doesn't matter anyway because we're not going to destroy this thing, and they got a point of damage on us, which might be relevant later on. We get into a fetch land, so do we just start making Rampaging Baloth tokens? I think I might do actually if I'm worried about Voltron from our opponent. Yeah, let's go Rampaging Baloths here. Might even go Ancient Green Warden next turn for the Verdant Catacombs if we just want to try and go wide on our opponent without the card advantage. We'll get a dual land here, and this will allow us to go for Mirri's Guile as well. So 14 power on the board. And we'll throw out the Mirri's Guile and pass the turn. They don't have protection from green yet, which is noteworthy. Well, there's a Thran Dynamo, so they're managing to keep up with us on mana. Equipping the Stoneforge Mystic with the Sword of Fire and Ice. They'll be able to trade one of our tokens here if they swing in. We'll just chunk block with the Rampaging Baloths though, they can have the card draw. Yeah, they either get a card from us letting this through, or they get 2 cards from the clamp, so I'd rather just get rid of the creature, because they might be able to cheat in Batterskull and things like that. But that opens us up to whacking them for 14 points of damage. Now getting down a Windswept Heath. So they might have another 1 mana tutor, but not going for it if they do. Maybe they've got Idyllic Tutor, or Enlightened Tutor is the 1 mana instant speed one, isn't it? Anyway, always yes and yield to the Mirri's Guile. Alright, Exploration, a Shire. Don't mind any of those, to be honest. I don't think we're going a Shire. Let's go Exploration this turn. We'll shuffle those away with the fetch anyway. So dropping Exploration, we'll have to go for Ancient Green Warden and go for this Beast plan. And we'll get double landfall off of the Rampaging Baloths and the Ancient Green Warden. So for every land that enters now, we'll get 2 4/4 beasts, thanks to Ancient Green Warden. Crack the Verdant Catacombs, and I'll shock in a Breeding Pool just to make my opponent worry about counter magic. And that's a bunch more beasts. So our opponent needs to be looking towards a board wipe here, really. But at least we're ramping, that's all I'm really bothered about here. Would be nice to keep our Ancient Green Warden in play though, because we'd either be able to get Tatyova with this, or get our commander down next turn, start refilling our hand. Haven't made use of the Ageless Insight yet. Anyway, hit our opponent for 14. And we've got them next turn probably, if they don't do anything about us. I'm assuming they've got something because they haven't scooped yet. Might be that they're just looking at the top card of their library though, and deciding to crack that Windswept Heath. And just getting themselves into a Tricycle land. Might be an Austere Command, yep, there it is. Soon as they tap down the 6 mana. They've just gone for creatures, so we at least keep our enchantments in play. So we might still be able to make use of Landfall and Teferi's Ageless Insight. I might just go for our commander then, and then the turn after we can go Finale of Devastation onto the Ancient Green Warden. They've still got 5 cards in hand over there, and they should assume that we don't have a counterspell in hand. They might have one in hand themselves though, alright. Maybe that is... won't make use of Storm Cauldron yet. Maybe we just go Tatyova then? No, I think we want to make the land, don't we? We can draw into Tatyova off of our commander. So let's play the Dark Depths this turn. After we play our commander. You see coming into play, we will drop a land. That will draw us 2 cards thanks to the Ageless Insight. We know what cards we're drawing into though. And there's nothing else we can do there really. We could try and draw a card, or draw into a land with the Grove. But I think I'm alright just leaving it up there. We've just drawn 2 more cards, so for all they know we've got some counter magic. Don't particularly mind them getting rid of our IEC now that we've got Tatyova in hand. Oh, a Consecrated Sphinx, alright. That's a good way to keep themselves in cards. It's also a flyer, which is relevant with that sword. Alright, we actually do have a counter spell there now. I think we value... maybe the boots are going to be relevant. No, I think we just need to make landfall as much as we can, so let's go boots. I think we'll draw into everything actually if we... yeah, if we make landfall, then we're going to... yeah, we'll go Ancient Green Warden out of the graveyard. Although, will that shuffle? It's only if you search your library this way you shuffle, so we'll still keep those things on top. So we'll put 6 into X, almost tapping out. And we'll choose the Ancient Green Warden here. Then we can start going off with the Verdant Catacombs. Feed our opponent a bunch of cards here, but I think we just have to try and fill our hand with something. We draw 4 cards per landfall trigger now because we get 2 landfall triggers per land that enters, and per trigger it's 2 cards thanks to the Ageless Insight. Could do with getting into a blue fetch really. There's Lotus Cobra. Okay, well that won't work because they've got protection from blue. Let's go like this for the Lotus Cobra. And we'll make landfall again. Getting even more triggers, we'll get 2 mana from each land that enters with the Lotus Cobra as well. Yeah, so the only saving grace here is that they'll have a grip full of cards, but they don't have quite as much mana as us. Again, protection from blue is hurting us with the Royal Elemental. So I think we go Sky Shroud Claim there. We can get... we can't get a blue source. Really want them to finish the 2 cycles that we're missing. For the dual lands, there's the cycle land and the one that cares about basics. And that would really help us in a situation like this. We'll just go for green and green and we'll crack the Verdant Catacombs. Getting into a forest again. And I don't know what colours I want to make, so we'll draw with the Aesi first. We've got another land to make from either the graveyard or hand. Alright, there's a Rex Sage, so we can get rid of Consecrated Sphinx here. Let's just... Actually, we get rid of Sword of Fire and Ice. And then we can steal the Consecrated Sphinx away, maybe. Let's make some blue mana. If we're going to go Royal Elemental, then we need to do that, so we'll have to play a fetch for the sake of getting more landfall. I think that's the last land that we can make this turn, unless we draw into another means of making a land. There's a Kiora as well. Make some more blue. Crack the Catacombs again. And our opponent is sticking at 23 cards in hand, seemingly. We'll go blue and green again. Yeah, and we've run out of lands to make again, so let's go for Reclamation Sage. Get rid of the sword. Then if we put 4 mana, we'll have 2 left over. We'll get 2 lands out, which is 2 mana apiece, and then we can tap them down as well. So that's 6, so yeah, that's a return on investment, isn't it? Although we won't be able to tap them for blue mana, will we? Maybe we just go for Harrow then, and we'll get into the blue mana that we need. So it's blue, and we've only got 1 basic island left in the deck, which is relevant. And there we go. 4 mana from the Lotus Cobra. Draw a hell of a lot of cards with our commander. Our opponent continuing to stick with the cards that they've got in hand. So I think at this point we're safe to go for the Mana Vault. And that'll help us get down the Royal Elemental. And then we can make a land with things like 3 Visits and Nature's Law. We've got Raminap now as well. Oh, and Prophet of Kruphix should give our opponent a big headache. Does Uro bring it in tapped? You may put a land from your hand onto the battlefield. Wow, that's a bit too good really, isn't it? But I think everyone knew that with Uro already. Because that means that we can put the Gyre's Cradle into play. So I'll play the Uro. Get 2 triggers with that. That is gain 3 life, draw 2 cards in this instance. And we'll put a Gyre's Cradle into play. And only 38 cards left in the deck, so we're going to have to be careful here. Yeah, our opponent scoops to that. Our aim here is to steal their Consecrated Sphinx away, which forces them to board wipe really. And that just buys us a turn effectively, because we're going to have an infinite hand size. I would have put down the Reliquary Tower there so that we don't have to discard. And then we've still got a heap of stuff to do next turn. I wanted to end the turn there with Prophet of Kruphix so that we could have carried on doing all this obnoxious stuff during their turn. And anything that they could have gone for, we would have been able to steal with regards to creatures anyway. If they're just going to go Atraxa and Voltron, then we just steal their Atraxa away. It's as simple as that. And with us untapping all the mana with Prophet of Kruphix, we could have countered any board wipes that they went for anyway, apart from maybe Supreme Verdict. So that was a pretty commanding one in the end, I think. Be sure to leave it a thumbs up and subscribe if you did enjoy this video. I'm tribalkai on the EDH channel. Thank you for watching.